This program is proudly brought to you by Lexus. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection.
Passionate, determined and inspired by marketing, Musa Kalenga is right where his heart desires. At 27, Musa is the group head of digital marketing at Nedbank, flying the digital marketing flag up high.
I really think it's the next level. I think from a marketing perspective, there's certain principles and fundamentals about getting people excited about ideas, about selling new products and concepts. I think there's some basics that if you understand, you can then start to amplify using different mediums. So, the digital field is kind of the next era in my opinion.
It didn't take me a while to realize that there's something in this human being that I haven't seen in a while. That even for me, even though he works for me, that I find very motivational, because the way he goes about doing what he does is actually very, very different. And you often battle to find the combination of competence and humility.
I think Africa specifically have leapfrogged the desktop, and now we're directly onto mobile, which is a digital platform. And for me, it's quite exciting to understand how do you use mobile to start solving problems? How do you use mobile to start getting young people more literate? How do you use mobile to start addressing certain social issues? How do you use mobile to actually make things happen for young people? So that's why for me it's a very exciting space. It's hugely untapped. There's such a big misunderstanding of the medium, so people just don't want to get involved. And that's primarily one of my mandates here at Nedbank, to try and lead in making sure people understand it, unpacking the value, unlocking the opportunities that lie within the digital marketing space.
Musa is very curious. He has a curious mind. And if you're going to make a meaningful contribution or impact in the digital space, digital marketing space today, you've got to have a curious mind.
With his curious mind, he graduated from Wits with an undergraduate in marketing and advanced management. While at Wits, he started a company called Monati Fellas, which later merged with a division of Tebe Ekalafeng's company Brand Leadership, forming what is now known as IHOP.
So I spent about 24 months working with Brand Leadership and IHOP, just trying to get into the digital space, trying to understand the next revolution of marketing, trying to understand the new idea of consumers, etc., which was quite exciting. It was a difficult time. Nonetheless, I learned quite a lot through that process. And towards the end of that process, I then was approached by Nedbank, who came to me and said, look, we're trying to get our digital marketing in order. We're trying to leapfrog the competition and position ourselves as a player in the digital space. And we need someone who can kind of run with it, someone who's a little bit crazy like yourself, but can potentially try and help us to get things done. And that was literally 6 months ago, and I came on board to try and see how I would fare with the real job, as my mother calls it, and so far it's been interesting.
Musa is a man with diverse skills ranging from television presenting to public speaking. He's the youngest chartered marketer in Africa and has also been listed as one of the Mail and Guardian top 200 young South Africans 2012.
While I was at Wits, I also did a lot of work with a company called HDI. I was a chairman for the Youth Advertising Board of South Africa, which means I was responsible at that point for understanding advertising and the decisions that advertisers make and how that impacts on youth at that particular point. And through that process, I got to understand a few things about the research space, about insights, about young people and all that. I speak frequently, and out of that speaking, I tend to kind of build a network of young people that want to plug into whatever I'm doing. So I informally mentor probably about 50 to 100 young people at any given time, because there's just such a big need out there, for young people to plug into something. I think there's a few things that make me proud. There's a few things that make me smile. And one of those things is starting Monati Fellas from scratch, running it up into a point, empowering young people throughout that process, and being completely content with providing input into someone's life and seeing them flourish. I'm expecting a young daughter, so that's probably going to be my next biggest achievement. Then trying to be kind of a relevant and involved and engaged father and husband. I think that for me will be the next box I need to tick and make sure I'm doing well.
Apart from spending time with his family, Musa also enjoys shooting hoops on a basketball court with friends.
He's good at what he does. He knows where his priorities lie. He knows that he needs to do work, and he'll definitely separate that from his friendship. So from his friendships and relationships, if I can put it like that. So our friendship is our friendship. When we need to do with work, then he gets work orientated. So he knows how to manage it very well.
It's good to work hard when you're working hard, and it's also good not to work hard, and there's nothing wrong with recovering. I think moderation is a very important part of balance. Priorities, things change, things become more important, others become less important as you grow, but your support structure is very important, so the people that can tell you, like, you know what, you're missing the mark here, or what's going on. That's also quite important, and be able to be silent. The Bible says be still, so at some point it's important to be still.
He's a terrible basketball player. I'm joking.
I go into my nothing box, which is I sit there and I look at walls and I do nothing. Yeah. So I like playing basketball, I like playing football, I like playing boxing as well. I want to open a fish farm in Zambia. That's going to be my next endeavor. I'm going to be a farmer. Marketing, as I said, it's not a particularly difficult field. If you fail at actuarial science, you can go do marketing. But it's not a particularly difficult field. As a result of that, every second person is a marketer. All right, so it becomes challenging to start to distinguish. So as a marketer, the important thing is to find a space and become excellent at that space. All right, I think that's the best way for you to actually create a brand, create a name, and create a reputation for yourself. If you're trying to create legacy, if you're trying to create assets and wealth, I think you need to get to a point where you start understanding what you're good at and you really work hard at it.
Success comes in different ways. And I look at him and the package he has, having run his own business at a very young age for a long time, successfully, an entrepreneur geared to take over the world.
I'm going to make this thing work at Nedbank. I'm going to take the digital marketing to the next level. I think that's my immediate goal. I need to get them on the map. I need to make sure that we lead in digital. I need to make sure that we're Africa's most admired bank. I need to make sure that we can reinforce all that we say with the digital offerings that we're going to be bringing out into market. I really flourish off the fact that I can have a positive impact on people. For me, it makes absolute sense. And that for me is the most rewarding, and it's the thing that I hold dearest to my heart.
This program was proudly brought to you by Lexus. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection.